Hi golfers, Nick here for Nick Taylor Golf. It's Friday, so welcome to another lesson on golf tips. This week on Golf Tips, I'm going to help you golfers out there that struggle with early extension in the downswing. For this week's video, I've reached out to a friend of mine who works on the west coast of America in California, just outside of LA. Her name is Ayumi. So if you go to Instagram, look up Ayumi, she has almost 5,000 followers on Instagram and her page is just full. Like she must, I don't know, she doesn't stop working, this girl. She's posting videos, drills, the changes that she makes in her students are absolutely unbelievable. I know some of her followers watch my channel, so I thought, well, first of all, I want to give a shout out to Ayumi. So she's brilliant, she's doing wonders for the Stack and Tilt network and improving golfers around the world. So I'm scrolling through her page the other day and I come across this drill. I thought that is absolutely awesome, and I thought I'd message her and just ask her a few questions about this particular drill and how it can help you golfers out there. So this drill today is going to help you if you struggle with early extension in the downswing, you struggle with hitting shots off the heel, if you struggle with getting stuck in the downswing, if you struggle with moving the path out to the right in the follow through off the grid, or if you just struggle to turn your shoulders into the finish, then this is one of the best drills that I've come across. Before we take a look at the drill and then hit some shots, I'm just going to show you guys the issue that I see with a lot of golfers and see if this relates to you in your golf swing. It's a question that gets asked quite a lot. How do I stop early extending in the downswing? It's causing me to hit shanks. Also, it's causing me to swing too much out to the right and I can't swing on the grid. So first of all, let's explain what the early extension issues that I see in the downswing. So the biggest issue I see in the early extension is when in the downswing, the golfer pushes their hips towards the golf ball. This is called early extending. The best golfers will keep their angle to the ground. They're not extending it excessively too early in the downswing. If I do that, that can move the club too much out to the right, can cause heel shots, can move the club off the grid. We want to keep the club and the hands on these two lines, especially as we swing through. One of the reasons I see this happening is because golfers that maybe get the club swinging too much from the outside over the top, they do that move to sort of shallow the club on the way down. So that's one way of swinging on the inside. The idea is we want to try and swing on these grid lines on the ground. So ideally we want to be swinging around the body behind us enough in the backswing. Too many golfers keep this knee bend, they swing too upright, and then they have to early extend to sort of shallow the club into the ball. If we were able to make a decent backswing, we wouldn't have to excessively overextend our hips to get into the golf ball and swing from the inside. So the drill I'm going to show you today is not only going to help you on the backswing movements and trying to get the correct movements with the tilting and the turning in the backswing to keep the club and the hands on the grid here, it's also going to help you in the exit and keeping the hands and the club on the grid. Ultimately, what we're trying to do is not overextend the body as we hit into the golf ball. So Ayumi's drill is a two-step process. The first thing you need to do is grab the club at either end, then get into your normal golf posture. Just move the right foot back and open up the foot so it's flared outwards. Roughly the toe is in line with the heel from the side view here. So the first thing this is going to do is really help us open up in the backswing. Just one note on the trail leg here, just have the leg a little bit straighter than it would be normally. Not quite locked, but I don't want you to try and keep the normal knee bend you would have normally. Just having it behind here, we're just going to sort of prop it up with a slightly straighter leg with the foot turned outwards. Then this is going to really help us make a backswing. Too many golfers restrict their hip movement, and that makes it very difficult to rotate the body. It makes it very difficult to swing the hands and the club inwards on the grid. We're trying to get depth in this backswing, and by flaring this foot, dropping it back, it's really going to open our turns up. So anyone that's not very flexible or struggle to turn, this is such a good drill just to get that feeling in the backswing. The key to this drill though is to move into the finish and just try and keep that right foot there for as long as possible. You'll see how my foot actually extends and banks inwards as my legs straighten, but the point here is that I'm really turning my shoulders against my hips. This is really going to help me swing back around to the left in the follow through. Golfers that early extend, their path moves too much out to the right, the low point moves too far back, and the heel gets presented at the golf ball. By doing this movement, I'm keeping my hands in the club on the grid. I'm getting the right body movements. My legs are extending, but I'm not overextending or early extending my hips towards the golf ball. So once we practice that feel, the next thing we need to do is try and hit some shots. Yumi sent me for a video of her doing this drill, and you'll see how she has a few practice swings and then she'll hit some shots. If you look at her mat there, it looks awesome. She's got a grid lined up for her students. You'll notice when she does this drill, she pulls that foot back, the right leg is almost dead straight, and then as she moves into the backswing here, you can see how she gets a tilt, so moves her shoulder downwards, she moves the hands and the club around her body, and then she gets a nice exit into the finish. So she's keeping her hands and her club on the grid. Ayumi also sent me for a video of her doing this from face on. So for this drill, we're going to take a look at both angles. First of all, let's head up and do some practice swings just to get that feel of that movement in the swing. So after we've made some practice swings, getting that feel just holding the golf club, let's try and make some swings now gripping the club as normal. So that trail foot turned outwards and dropped backwards, so the toes pretty much in line with the heel. Back leg almost straight. The knee bend still the same on the left leg. Now in the backswing, this is really going to help me open up my turns by having this foot further back. And then through the ball, I'm just going to turn really hard and swing round to the left. This is going to help me strike the ball, going to help me keep the shaft lean. It's going to help me stay on the grid as I go through. It's going to help me really turn my upper body against my hips. So let's make some swings here, first of all. So it feels really powerful because I'm swinging really behind on the backswing, and then I'm just turning really hard through the golf ball and keeping my hands on the club on the grid. So once we've made some practice swings, we're feeling pretty confident. Let's hit some shots here. We're going to take a look at the video from the side view to start with, then we'll take a look at the face on in a second. Let's just hit a shot here. So foot trail back, turned outwards, leg almost straight, really open up my turn in the backswing, and then turn hard into the follow through. So you can see on the screen there, pretty good shot. I didn't feel like I lost any distance. That ball still went out to 174 in yards. The strike felt pretty good. It was a nice tight draw. So even though I felt like I really swung into the left here through the exit, I still swung at 6 degrees into out and had really good speed there. Let's take a look at this drill from the face on camera now. So a couple of keys from this angle. So if you're videoing your swing and how it's going to feel. As you set up here, because this foot's back slightly and straighter, it's just pushing my hips further forward. So my belt buckle, my center of my hips is further forward, the center of my shoulders is further forward. So these two centers are stacked more on my left side here. So my weight's pushed more forward. That's going to help me swing more around my body, and it's going to help me move the low point further forward. Another key here would be the ball position. You can see it's inside of my left shoulder and the handle is slightly forward. Because this is opened up more, it's going to be easy for me to turn. So even though it feels like I'm only swinging to here, I'm pretty much making a full backswing. Then as I go through, I'm really going to try and turn hard, turn my shoulders hard and swing left, try and keep my hands and the club on the grid. Let's give it a go. Okay, nice contact, just pushing out to the right, drawing back slightly, similar sort of distance to that previous shot, so around about 179 that one. You'll see there's a slight push, didn't quite get the drawback that time. Let's take a look at that data. I think swinging, opening up my body is easier to swing on the inside, yeah, so about 8 degrees into out, so maybe a little bit more than normal, but there was a slight draw on that ball, very slight. You can see the side spin slightly to the left, but club head speed really good, 93 miles an hour. So I find it really easy to keep the club on the grid. It feels like I'm hitting this ball as hard as I can, but it's under control. I think a lot of golfers that struggle in the golf swing, that early extend or they get stuck on the downswing, it tilts the path too much out to the right, moves the low point further back, and just causes a whole host of problems. And it encourages the club to release or the hands to roll over too much as well, which gives a high rate of closure. So I think this drill ticks a lot of boxes. Next thing you need to do, golfers, is video your swing. So video it from face on and from the side view. And if any of you are on Instagram and you're willing to post your swings, that would be absolutely awesome. If you could tag Ayumi in your post, she would absolutely love it. So thanks Ayumi for letting me share that drill with the golfers here today. Really appreciate it. Keep up the good work. You're doing an absolute awesome job over there in California. Hopefully I'll be able to come out and visit you one day. So thanks for watching, golfers. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you again next week for another video on golf tips.